Hi, Eric here from Laser Scanning TV. Today we are here in Prague in the Cubics Conference Center, and here's the 3D ISG conference. Yeah, I'm sitting here with somebody who is maybe making more with videos as I do. So maybe you introduce you and what you're doing in this YouTube world.
Sure.
And so on.
Yeah, my name is Rami Tamimi. I make YouTube videos about surveying and geospatial technology. I'm also the founder of the Surveyor School, where we educate the next generation of surveyors.
Ah, that's new. I don't know that you have this. On the one hand, you have the YouTube channel, which I think is the biggest geospatial channel. I would say it's the biggest in the world.
Yeah, we've got 80,000 subscribers and over 5.5 million views. So I think we can take that title, but you know, we're trying our best.
What is the survey? This is so new for me. What is the Survey School is doing?
Yeah, so the Survey School is an online education platform designed to deliver the educational aspects of surveying, whether that's the fundamentals or the technical aspects of how we do surveying and how we, check and qualify data. We have over 100 students, active from all over the world, and we collaborate in person. There's courses, we have live sessions, and we even attend conferences with the students. So very interactive and very immersive.
So from your background, you are also you're working on the university, or that's a
So I'm actually.
First, you're coming from the US, or?
Yeah, I'm from the US. I'm actually doing my PhD at Ohio State University. I've been teaching at Ohio State ever since I started my PhD. I teach the Introduction to Survey course for undergraduate students. So a lot of the students I get are usually civil engineering students. And
yeah, so Ohio State, this is in Pittsburgh, or?
This is in this is in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, Columbus, Ohio.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, most of the students are civil engineering students, but Ohio State is one of those universities that is actually requiring the students to take a surveying course because of how important our industry is in construction and basically everything that they do. So they need to know what surveying is before they can actually get their degree.
Okay. Yeah, I think in Germany it's like we have also the civil engineers have also 2 lections in survey.
Yes.
But we have these people that can really study here geometric and geoinformation. So this is a complete own study. I think you don't have this in the US, or?
We do.
So
my undergraduate was in survey engineering.
Okay.
So it was a completely different degree from civil engineering.
Yeah.
But they do require like the introduction course to be taken by most construction-based engineers. Just because of how fundamental it is to all the work that we do.
Yeah, I know. So I think we have to see it's the same that if you be civil engineer, you have 1 or 2 lections in survey.
Yes.
So basics. So but in the I think in the US there's more surveyors. They have a civil engineering background. In Germany, if you won't be having a survey company, you have to be a survey engineer. So that's and I think it's maybe in whole Europe similar, or there are many places.
From what I've seen in Europe, there tends to be more surveyors. The market is still, doing well in terms of having professionals and technicians in the industry. The U.S. has really struggled to train the next generation of surveyors, which is why we started the Survey School.
But I think it's the same as in, I think in the Arabic states. I think it's
the Middle Eastern. The Middle Eastern world is just like America. So what ended up happening in the U.S. is they started allowing those that have similar degrees, like civil engineering or architecture. You can take your bachelor's degree along with a certain number of credits related to surveying, and then pair those 2 together to become a licensed surveyor. Now, every state is different. There's different laws they have to follow, but that's generally what's going on these days.
When you start your YouTube channel, when it was the start?
Well, I started the channel a long time ago, but 2020 is when I started posting about surveying.
2020 is a very short time, so but this is a strong growing. So
yeah, we've been at it for 5 years, and we've been growing ever since.
Did you make it by your own completely, or do you have a team?
No, I've been on my own for a very long time. I do have people to help me with the editing and the marketing. But we do have a team for the school. The school does have a team of expert marketers and community managers. Because
you're also doing a lot of testing devices, and we do it also with we're selling devices and we tested them by our own. So I know how many time you have to spend to make like a video like yours where you really show a product how it's working. So it's not done by only making, it's not like an unboxing video.
Correct. So yes, it is very much planned. We have an experiment, we have a process that we need to follow. And then once we're done filming, there's the whole production side in terms of editing and getting the right thumbnail and getting like the right title and then publishing the video and following up with comments. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It's a business.
Yeah,
it really is a
business.
Yes.
You know, other people, I know I have some friends, they make the same for motorcycle. channels. That's a full-time job. So, but they will be then paid from the motorcycle producers, tire producers.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's but this is for them a full-time job. So what you're doing on site. So and we doing is I doing this also for my channel, but not so I can only spend a part of my time. So and
Right.
so yeah, that's but they're very interesting, very good content. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah. So and I like that you publish these. I think it's unfortunately I don't know. Maybe it did, some German visitors they can say if you know his channel, if you follow them, students. So if they see it, so I think we need more advertising for the industry.
Yes.
So it's super interesting job if you are related to mathematics, but it's not like only mathematics. Like it's a very surveyor have to be. I think you have to be mathematics skilled. You have to be very precise and accurate. But then on the other hand, you're working in outdoor, so you have to be also a little bit like creative.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're sitting in a laboratory and have perfect conditions every time. So
I always say surveying is a combination of three major fields. One is the scientific field, next is the legal field, and finally is the creative field. We have, obviously the science behind the technology, how we use it, the mathematics. The legal side is when you're dealing with property corners, when you're trying to write a legal description, when you're working with banks and lawyers and you're a witness, in court, so you're an expert witness, you need to legally be able to represent the work that you did and back it up. And then the creative side, I mean, we're in a reality capture conference, you have to think about like the way you visualize the data, the way that you present it to your client, how do, all of these, I would say deliverables look and how are they presented to your client, the drawings that we draw, that's all creative. So it's a very unique field and it's so exciting to be a part of it.
Sometimes in my early stage where I was really traditional surveyor, or I making also ground control measurements for airborne, airborne scanning and photogrammetry. There was sometimes a problem where you think, how I go with my Jeep to the place to place my marker there, so and not be stuck in somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's but that's what I find interesting.
Because we're working outside, we're getting our hands dirty. Yeah.
So that's the interesting. So I think it's they also what I like. I'm now over 20 years in this business. The interesting part is what you can see in this job. So usually you are not in one factory with one product or 10 products. You're going there. Maybe you're working for the government in cadastral. That is maybe a little bit more focused on very specific part. But if you go on the technical side, or you see a lot in your professional life. I think that's very interesting. You come to places where other people never come. So I can tell something because I was very early in the scanning. And I was underground in salt mines and nuclear power plants, water power plants.
Very diverse places.
On ships, on luxury yachts. I was in the private jet from Saudi Arabian king. So I see a lot over the years. But I was very early at film production, automotive. I was in the wind channel of BMW. So there's so many what you can see even if you do this job. So what people don't see, if they're thinking you are only the stupid guy who stay on the corner from the city with some prison in the hand. So, but there's much more so behind him. So.
Oh yeah, I mean once you really figure out what you're doing and the opportunities that exist in our industry, you just can't get bored. You really can't get bored, and you're making money, and you're collaborating with amazing people from all over the world. I mean, when you attend conferences in different countries and you see people coming from Australia and from the Middle East and from America, like you are really getting a very wide perspective of what our industry can do. So it's very impressive.
Should I tell you my biggest mistake?
Tell me.
In my young years.
So
I grew up in East Germany. In my school time, I have the first language we have to learn was Russian.
Okay.
And on some reason we was not an English school. We was only a French school. So when I was almost ready with my higher degree in the school time, and had no English experience at all.
Oh wow!
And then my parents say, "So maybe you need English." And I say, "Oh no, I will be a surveyor and go on working for the German administrator, and German surveyors speak only German." So I think that was the biggest mistake. And it was a mistake, but the biggest what wrong.
But you're speaking English right now,
I learned it
and you're not in the field. You're actually in a conference.
Because I know that I have to speak to the other experts, and they are speaking English. So that was for me I learned my English I was 3 weeks in Maltese Island, an English school, and then I was working in Faro, and was a lot of these these international colleagues, and I learned my English on the street. So
that's amazing.
Because I won't communicate with other people. So
well, that's something I noticed whenever I go to conferences in the Middle East. I mean, I get approached, and I speak Arabic. So
is your family coming from Arabic or?
Yeah, we're from the Middle East. So
okay.
So I'll speak to like very talented young professionals, and they tell me, they say, look, I can do so much. I have so much talent, and I know what I'm doing, but I don't have English. So I have a very hard time communicating with anyone outside the Middle East. And I always say this to anyone that is like talented and loves this industry: work on your English. Work on your English, because the minute you can actually communicate with people outside of your region, you're going to find opportunities everywhere.
So that was my key point. Was I working in this startup who originally developed the Faro scanner, this IQ Sun, IQ Evolution company.
Yeah.
This was the original founder of the Faro scanner. And then we was like 40 people something, a German startup, so close to Stuttgart. And then we was acquired by Faro. And then overnight, I coming back, it was after Easter and something, and then Dr. Becker come to me and say, go inside, last night I sold a company to Faro and there's a new bosses. And then we get a new email system and all emails was in English. It was all in German. So
that's kind of what happens when a big company acquires you.
Then I say, now I have to need English skills. So
no, but your English is fantastic. I mean, it's very, very good English.
So today I share a lot of my private histories.
I do that to people, right?
Yeah, you do it to people. But they make it so. I think it's very good video for the end. So it's a little bit also some private stuff what we share. So
why not? We're human, right?
Yeah,
we have families and we have life stories and we have challenges that we face.
But you told me that actually you're working on a PhD.
Yeah.
So what is did you can tell something to the topic or?
Yeah. So my PhD is in geodetic engineering.
Okay.
This is actually my 6th year working on it. So
it's take long. So engineering degree is not easy. So
it does take long.
I have friends, they have a couple of them. I have a couple of friends, they have engineering degrees.
Oh yeah.
I think there was a couple of them was in 6 years. So
yeah, no. The only reason it's taken so long is because I've actually been having too much fun working and being at these conferences.
Did you have also to do teaching also?
Yes. Yeah. So I do teach as well. It's part of the agreement.
Okay. It's the same here.
Yeah, my research predominantly focuses on utilizing geospatial sensors and being able to acquire high accuracy survey grade data.
Okay.
So we use different types of methods to improve the data, improve the accuracy, run validation on them. And one of these sensors is the iPhone, right? So we use the iPhone.
Yeah, you make a lot of this the iPhone.
I make a lot of it is with the iPhone because I think it's the most accessible system that most people have in their pockets already. So being able to use that to acquire geospatial data and then doing it in a high accuracy fashion, I think is a great thing for the mapping industry. So.
Okay. Yeah. Last guy I asked what was his PhD. You say I make a weight field calculation on the geoid. So, I say that's very theoretical.
Some intense work. Yes.
Some intense work.
Absolutely.
So and then I have my business partner is the founder from PointCap Software.
Okay, very cool.
He's also surveyor, but he has a PhD in computer vision, photogrammetry, and network calculation. So you see, there you can do a lot. So even for the science.
Yeah.
So
I do a decent amount. I mean, you could do a PhD on anything, but at some point, you're going to have to learn about these other systems. Like I have to learn about computer vision. I have to learn about sensor fusion. I have to learn about integrating LiDAR from aerial and terrestrial, and there's always going to be crossover. And one of these things I realized was that even though I'm a surveyor, I'm learning a lot about computer science. I'm learning a lot about computer vision, and it's all relevant to my work, Surveyors that believe that, we shouldn't be doing anything outside of cadastral surveying. Those who thought GIS wasn't surveying, they're wrong, right?
So,
all of this is related to our
field. I think GIS really, I think there's some surveyors in Germany do GIS.
Well, nowadays they've kind of realized the mistake that they made 20 years ago. But 20 years ago, surveyors did not accept GIS as a method of surveying. And so the lesson here is it's all surveying, and we should all be studying it, and we should all be researching and testing these sensors that come out because we're the experts in measurements.
Yeah. So I tell this to my clients. So if you're selling systems, so we have a lot of also mechanical engineers. They like to acquire a terrestrial scanner, mostly terrestrial of the accuracy. Yeah. And I say, you are an engineer for mechanical engineer. You have complete mathematical understanding. If you capture a small area, I can teach you that you get excellent results also. But don't try capture a complete factory by yourself, or even then working together with a surveyor, because they are the expert for survey quality measurement, big stuff. Yes. So And I say, you have to understand small areas is okay, your quality will be good enough for what you'd like to do, but don't make your project too big without
consulting with a surveyor. Absolutely.
So the surveyor can measure you some control points inside, and then you can work on your workflow.
Yes.
So that's I teach. So I think I have very good experience for small size project. In Germany we have mechanical engineers, super good, architects also, depends if they're more the design guys, they're not. But there's also some technical guys.
Absolutely.
And then we have, in Germany, we have a lot of craftsmen, like they're making wood, the roof makers, or steel factory. Is a very good technician, very good mathematic understanding, because we have these professional education for technicians.
Right.
So you don't have this in the US. So we have these normal craftsmen, and then we have the technicians.
You have like apprentice program.
And you're going 3 years. That's like 3 years school time at school and practical work. So and they have also a good foundation. Depends there, but. So they're also good clients. So.
Well, that's what we're trying to do with the Survey School. We're trying to build a program that will help educate people, get them involved in the industry, rather than kind of try to figure it out, and getting lost and doing things incorrectly. We have a community here to support them, to give them what they need, so that they do things the right way, and then they're actually a valuable asset to the companies that they work at, or if they have their own business, be able to offer these services to their clients.
So, and then one final question is, so I have two questions. So, one is if you're ready with your PhD, you go the science way, or what is your plan?
I probably will continue down the education path. I do have a consulting business as well, so I will continue to help people, give them as much information as I can. I do have a surveying, like a data collection and mapping company as well, that I'm a part of, but it is growing now, and so we're having a pretty good team now that can do most of the data collection. So I'm consulting in my own business, basically.
Okay.
So that's the path I'll be taking.
And what do you think about what we see in the conference? Because this was a mixed mess from spatial, where we are super expert, but now we have all the immersive people, also other expert for people that are working with the data, what we acquire. So I think, right, if I say
I think that's the big difference here is that this conference is really focused on what you do with the data. Digital twin models, being able to visualize the data, how you can present it to your client. Whereas as a surveyor, you're really focused on collecting the data, making sure it's accurate. I don't care if it's pretty or not, I want it to be right. And so what I've picked up on here is that there's value in both. Right? If your client is looking to just visualize some data, preserve the data, preserve the site that they're scanning, that's one type of product that has value. That being said, if you are looking for a high accuracy scan because you're going to be doing construction work, okay, now you're bringing our expertise in, and you've just tripled the cost of the project, and now you're paying attention to the integrity of the accuracy of the data. So two very different deliverables, very similar in terms of visualization, but they're both valuable, and that's really what I've picked up on, is seeing what you can do with just visual aspect of scan data.
Yeah, for me it was interesting to see this other stuff and networking with these other users of our data. So new market. For us as a dealer for instruments, is this definitely maybe a new customer group. They need instruments because if they want to be not so accurate. So it's like with the SLAM scanner, Gaussian splatting. So that's very useful for them.
Very useful for them and what they're doing, and there's a market for it. And as surveyors, we should be exploring that. We shouldn't be putting that to the side. No, we should be involved in it just as much as every other type of survey that we do.
So I think now we have a very deep dive. So I like it. For the first time to meet you in person, I enjoy this conversation because it's very deep, and I think we share a lot of information and with the audience. So
yeah, of course.
So I think and I don't know if you ever do some video with so deep speaking. So
yeah, I mean I do podcast episodes.
You podcast. Okay, you're doing this.
So do I. I mean, I'm an open book. Anything anyone wants to know about me, I'm here to share the knowledge. So
perfect.
Absolutely.
So then we will see maybe you go to London show. Or,
I will be. I'll be at GeoBusiness.
We will be also there.
Fantastic. So we'll see you in GeoBusiness. then. Awesome. Great. Thank you,
Eric. So this is the end from this 3DS conference in Prague. So, and stay tuned and don't forget, subscribe to the channel and check out, I think we blended in Rami's channel. Yeah. So if you like to learn something more about the survey stuff and geospatial deep dive technology stuff.
Fantastic. See ya.